Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the T95E6. This is a Tier 10 American Collector Heavy, a vehicle that features a fantastic top speed of 50 kilometers per hour, a vehicle that features 3,167 damage per minute if you're running gun rammer, or if you're running Cali, somewhere just around 3,000 damage per minute. Features the highest heat pen you'll find for a Tier 10 Heavy, 10 degrees of gun depression, and even decent turret armor. Is there a downside to the E6? Yes, there are many downsides to this vehicle. Its hull armor, quite weak. The turret, quite weak. And yeah, I mean, that's the real downside. Obviously, it's got a good gun. It's got really good mobility, so armor has to be the only downside it carries, because accuracy-wise, it's also pretty dang solid. And that's definitely the case for the T95E6. Now, personally, as you probably read in today's video title, this is a tank I would keep an eye out for. In fact, I believe that this is one of the best Tier 10s in the game if, and this is a very big if, you understand how to play the game. The E6 is obviously a tank that benefits off of using its mobility. It's like an Object 260, except it doesn't have the downside of, you know, bad gun depression, poor armor on the front with also a huge hull. It's actually quite a low-down vehicle, which is quite nice. It's got decent camo. Although one thing I will say is that our team is not doing a good job here on their positioning. The majority of our team is going to town. Now, it does appear that the enemy team is also having at least some tanks go to town, but if they have a heavy get spotted up here, it's basically game over for us. That's as nice as I'm going to put it. So we got our Progetto pushing fairly aggressive, and as you can see, we get a really nice shot into the 121B. This tank with its pretty dang good heat pen is just enough to butter through just about anything in front of it. Now sure, we do get penned by the 121, and we'll get penned by the Sheridan, but the thing is that you're a heavy. So you got 2,400 hit points when the enemy team doesn't. So for example, I'm taking these shots from my team, and hopefully they'll grow a pair and actually push here. And when they do, this is when a vehicle like the E6, I've just sacrificed my health here for my team to do their job. And this is where the vehicle does a really good job. Like, sure, I'm quite low. And it definitely would have helped if my Progetto... Okay, bro. Okay, interesting. I'm not really sure what to say about that, but let's get a nice shot into you and back up. But as I was trying to say, it definitely would have been nice if one of my teammates had sacrificed a shell for me, because now we are not in the best of situations, but at the same time, we do have a full health 60, which is pretty decent, as long as he pens the shot. Nice, he did. He almost max rolled it. Okay, so at this point in time, I'm going to use the mobility this tank has, and try and flank. I mean, we spotted that 5A over here, and obviously that's something I got to be very, very cautious about, but there's a nice shot into the 5A. And we do have more DPM than his tank, which means we can obviously get another nice shell out, but unfortunately it looks like we just weren't able to at that current angle. Okay, well, it looks like 5A is pushing me, so we're going to get a nice tracking shell into his tank, and once again, it looks like I'm the only one here. Why do I always get, like, stuck alone? Is that always my luck? Let's go for another shell into his track wheel. There you go. I mean, we are absolutely badonkering this guy, and he's probably not enjoying it. I gotta be real. Let's go for another heat shell. Nice. This 5A is now down to a one-shot, which is actually... Oh. We were doing pretty fantastic, I gotta be real. I mean, we were doing just about as good as it gets in our E6. Unfortunately, it appears that our team fell apart. Now, can I blame the E6 for that? No, not really. I didn't have much of a choice here on what to do. Obviously, our team died before I even, you know, got from point A to point B. The fact that we took off all that health from the 5A was, to be honest, a pretty dang miracle. But it doesn't take away from the fact that the E6 did a really solid job this game, and that's just how the E6 is. We did 3,500 damage. We did just about as good as we could have done in any tank in this situation. And I mean, heck, when you got a team of a Foch that does 200 damage, a Yag that pens one shell, I mean, yeah, our team really just didn't have 2 cents on what they were doing there. Yeah, there's really not much to say. So maybe this team will get a better one. Honestly, when it comes to Blitz, there's no point in worrying about your teams anymore, because you're either going to get a team that sucks or a team that doesn't suck. But, oh well, let's see. We've got base B in front of us, which is obviously where I'm going to push. With the mobility that this tank carries, with the gun depression, it would be a sin for me not to go to base B. So, The enemy team has a Progetto. They have a Sheridan. I mean, they got some deadly tanks, but that doesn't really worry me too much. As you saw last battle, it wasn't the mediums, or honestly even really the heavy that was a worry for me to fight. It was just the fact that my team died before, even though we YOLO'd basically on medium side, our team could just really not get into the reaction, which honestly kind of sucks. So, we got a nice shell into the Progetto. We were fast enough to actually spot him crossing, and that Progetto has basically screwed himself at this point because, well, maybe not. Maybe not. I'm trying to think of what I want to do here. We only have one tank off to the side, which is a lot worse for our team than their team, especially because I don't know where the tank destroyers are. I mean, obviously the, yeah, that's the 4005. So their whole team's sitting back there. If I get shot by somebody over here, I mean, my whole team is basically camping over at C. It doesn't appear to me like they've moved much. So I'm going to push right here. And I think that this spot should be just about as good as it needs to be. If anybody tries crossing, we can get some nice shells out. We can get some nice shells into the Progetto. Sheridan's already quite low as it is, and he doesn't really scare me. I gotta be real. That guy's playing way too aggressive for the health he has, which to me means that he might be annoying, but he's not going to be anything I can't deal with. So, we get a nice shell into the 57. Couple more seconds left. We'll have another one ready. So, let's reload, and it doesn't look like he wants to fight me anymore. There's the Sheridan, missing another really, really easy shot, honestly, on me. There you go. Nice tap into the 57. See, the nice thing about this vehicle is that since you've got such a nice gun, you don't really need to worry about bouncing shells or, you know, a lot of the conundrum that you will with other heavies. You know, the accuracy is really nice on this tank. The penetration is really nice. So that's the real good part. You'll just notice that when you play it, the real downside is the fact that, yeah, the armor really isn't that good. But hey, when that Sheridan, as I said before, really isn't much of a threat. I mean, he's running undeniable advantage as a camo, and really undeniable advantage, if anything, is an undeniable disadvantage. I mean, this 57's trading with me, but he's got less health, so I don't really understand the prospect of it, especially because he's bouncing me every now and then, and I'm not bouncing him whatsoever. The Sheridan, sure, he's probably going to pen me. Even if he does, I could care less, because once again, we got hit points. We're a heavy. We're a heavy that can frontline, and we're also a heavy that can get anywhere it needs to, fast, mobile. It's great. It honestly is really great. We are already up to 3,300 damage dealt this game. We're going to aim it on this 5A. Not sure if we can connect the shell, but that's fine. I just want to, at this point, try and really control this ridge. We got the IS-4 off to the side, and I have actually no clue where that shell went. I mean, I kind of zoomed in when it shot, but yeah, I seriously have no clue where that shell went. That thing disappeared into the stratosphere and was never heard from again. Now, the Progetto pokes me, obviously can't do anything anymore, and it looks like he's getting flanked from the rear as well, which means at this point, Progetto's a goner. We got the IS-4 off to the side. This is where that fantastic heat pen comes into play. You can see no problem whatsoever on buttering through his tank. And if we want to do it again, I mean, yeah, 5A misses us. I'm not even worried. But look at this heat pen. Well, I have to obviously hit my shot, but the heat pen is great. I do have to say, it really is super duper nice to have that such ridiculous high heat pen. Oh, well. Alright. I mean, the enemy team's tunneling me. I really could care less. It's not something that's ever going to worry me. Let's get another nice shell into the IS-4. 388 damage right there. And let's see, are we going to be able to get one more into his tank? And a fire! Unfortunate. It's a heavy after all. Doesn't have the best on movement dispersion. But I think these two games were a good idea to plant into your mind on how this tank plays. You can't YOLO. It's not a tank that gets away with being the most aggressive vehicle on the battlefield. But if you play it smart and you use the advantages it has, you can do very well. We not only blocked 2,200 damage this game, not only did we get an ace, but we did 4,500 damage, which is a really solid chunk. To me, the E6 after its update was an amazing change to make it just such a fun vehicle. It's like an Object 260, but just kind of better in every way. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you think about this tank in the comments down below, but definitely I would suggest to keep an eye out for it when it gets released in the Blitz Fair, if at least it does get released. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.